Hi everyone, welcome to today's collab. Today's collab will be on effective communication and love languages. So before we get started, I want to share our mission statement and outcomes. The Office of Student Life and Leadership provides support and fosters community engagement. We empower students through involvement, leadership, and co-curricular learning opportunities to enhance their time experience at CSUF. So through this, students will be able to develop their leadership skills related to their involvement within their organizations. Students will have a time experience related to their involvement with co-curricular opportunities at CSUF. So before we get started, I'd also like to introduce our student life and leadership staff and team, just because this is a new semester and this is our first collab of the semester. So we have Elisa Flowers, who is our interim director of student life and leadership, Samuel, who's our assistant director of fraternity and sorority life, Jordan, who's our fraternity and sorority life coordinator, Gleanne, who's our student organization coordinator, Chopin, who's our sports club coordinator, Heidi, who is our community service and leadership programs coordinator, as well as Ashley, who is our admin support coordinator, and myself, Christina, who is I am the graduate student assistant for student organizations. And then we also have a couple of other grads and student assistants in the office. Student life and leadership is broken up into 6 different categories. So we have campus activities, community service programs, clubs and organizations, fraternity and sorority life, leadership programs, and sports clubs. So just to give you a brief overview of what we'll be covering today, we'll first start with the importance of appreciation. We'll talk about strengths and languages. We'll understand the other languages. Some learning goals from today are that you'll be able to identify your own love language or language of appreciation, learn how to better communicate with your team, and apply knowledge learned to show others appreciation. So we'll start with the importance of appreciation. So these are some characters of some leaders we see on TV, and so I just wanted to put them up there to give you a little visual to what I'm talking about. And so some characteristics of these great leaders are they know themselves well. They also help their team members feel valued. They actually support one another, and they understand that each person is unique. And lastly, they lead by example. And so really they're creating this culture of appreciation. It has been shown that our motivation is maximized when we receive our ideal form of praise, encouragement, or reward for our efforts. And so since you all are student leaders and need to keep your organization running, it's really important that you understand how to motivate your team members. According to Chapman, the desire to be loved is our deepest human desire and is one that is often left unmet. In order for us to feel this need is met, we need to receive appreciation or love in the way that makes sense to us. So this is really why we're discussing this today, so that you all know how to show your members or your board members appreciation. There are the love languages or languages of appreciation. So what these really do is they enhance communication and trust. They motivate and encourage others. They show appreciation and gratitude, and they can improve your relationships. Dr. Gary Chapman initially wrote love languages as a way for couples to better communicate in their relationships. However, these are easily translated into a business setting, or in your case, a student organization setting, to get others to work well together. When members feel appreciated, they are more inclined to reach their full potential and are more committed to their organization or cause. They're also just more fun to be around, and it can be easier to recruit and bring in new members when your current members are happy. So what is your love language or language of appreciation? There will be a resource in the news article that goes up for collab where you can actually take a short little quiz to kind of learn your love language or language of appreciation if you don't already know it. So please feel free to pause the video and take that quiz. There's also a couple online resources that you can utilize that will also be listed down below. So please feel free to pause and take that quiz. To understand your scores, the highest score is going to be your primary language. If you have 2 languages that are tied together, it just means that you kind of value both equally. The score that is close to your Highest score is going to be your secondary language or your second form of appreciation. And the highest possible score you can get on any language is going to be 12. So in the PDF where it's just clickable, that we provide, that will be the highest score you can get in any of these languages. So what are the love languages and what do they mean? So the love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, appropriate physical touch. So words of affirmation. There's people who will say like actions speak louder than words, which can be true, right? But when it comes to praising people's efforts, there are some people who feel that actions don't always speak louder than your words. Some people really value the words that you communicate with them, and the delivery of the way you say these words also matters. So it can be orally as it's being spoken to someone, written out publicly in front of other people, or personal one-on-one communication. These can be used to affirm and encourage those around us. And there are some people who prefer one-on-one communication, others who enjoy being praised in front of others, but not many people really enjoy this. So it's really kind of important to gauge if your members enjoy being praised in front of others or if they prefer that one-on-one praise. Another language is quality time. And so this is really focused on undivided attention, sharing quality conversation activities. So the Zoom world can make this somewhat challenging, right? Because we can't actually spend quality time together. However, there are still ways you can connect and engage with each other. And there are going to be people who really want to go to certain movie nights or events where they'll be able to communicate and interact with others because they want to share that time together. So if it's having a little movie night where you can all be on your screens and spend that quality time together doing an activity, that's kind of how you can show this appreciation. And so it's really just personal focused time and attention with a person who can you work with, and you can just show you appreciate them. Receiving gifts. This is another love language, and so this doesn't always need to involve money. Gifts are visual representation. They show thoughtfulness. The speakers of this language want to know that you're paying attention to them and know what's important to them. So a key in this is the thought that comes into this, not the amount of money spent or money spent at all for that matter. So sometimes you can do small things like grabbing someone a coffee or getting them something you know that they would really enjoy or have been talking about, but it can also just mean something handmade that you created and it reminded you of them. That's the whole concept of this receiving gifts, is just something that shows that you paid attention to them. Acts of service. So this is really, as you can see, buzz and witty. Here, let me help. That is what acts of service is. It's assisting others in getting tasks done. This can be really encouraging to your team members and can really show appreciation. And so laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for people can be a way for those who have acts of service as one of their love languages feel unappreciated or feel that they don't matter. So it's important to show appreciation for their effort. Appropriate physical touch is our last love language. So here it's high fives or fist bumps. They're usually spontaneous and genuine and in the context of celebration. However, we are virtual, so it's important to remember this. So another way you can do this is maybe just through sending a certain reaction through the chat, where you can put up a little high five or even sending out an emoji or something of that sort. It's, I guess, something to mimic that. Again, definitely different in the time we are right now. So to summarize, the 5 love languages, we can look at it in terms of coffee. So words of affirmation, your coffee is delicious. I really enjoyed how you made it. Like, that's showing someone I appreciate what you did for me if their love languages is words of affirmation. Someone's love language is acts of service. You can say, I made you a coffee. Someone who likes receiving gifts, here's the coffee. Quality time, let's go get a coffee. And physical touch. Let me hold you like a coffee appropriately. Okay. So how can we communicate with others knowing these languages? And so this is an activity I would challenge you all to try at home to kind of get a sense or feel for why this matters. So if you can use your non-dominant hand to write the following statement: the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You can go ahead and pause the video here and quickly do this activity and then continue the video. So a couple questions I'd ask you to think about is, how did it feel to write with the hand that you're not used to? Was it not comfortable to write with your non-dominant hand? Have you ever thought about when we shake hands, it tends to be kind of more geared for right-handed people. So if you're left-handed, you may feel a little uncomfortable doing it. And so basically, this is just to remind you all that we all like to be shown appreciation in different ways. We're not all the same. And if we expected to give everyone the same way to do something or show everyone appreciation the same way, it's not going to make sense for everyone, or it's going to be a little uncomfortable, or it could possibly just make them feel like you don't appreciate them. So that's why it is important to kind of get to know your members and gauge what their love languages or languages of appreciation could be, so you can show them appreciation in a way that makes sense for them. So intent versus impact. So intent is essentially what you intended to do with your actions, and impact is what it actually did. So for most individuals, communicating in your own language of appreciation can be easy, and it's effective when you're speaking to someone else who has that same language of appreciation. But when you're speaking to someone who has a different language of appreciation, it can have a negative impact. It can create hard feelings due to differing values. And so it's really important to understand primary languages of appreciation in order to motivate and encourage your team members. Doing this can lead to effective communicating of appreciation for work well done and to show that you appreciate what they did for you. So it's really important to kind of analyze and understand your group and who you're working with. So there are a couple resources that if you all would like, you can do this with your team members. So there is a PDF that is available in the news article, and you can distribute that and kind of share with your members to be able to gauge what their language of appreciation are. So you kind of maybe can take note of that and know that moving forward. But there's also some informal ways to do this. So you can observe their behavior and notice what they do for others. Could be what they wish others would do for them. You can observe what they request of others. So this can indicate what our primary appreciation language is. And you can also listen to their complaints. The thing about which they're complaining about, it could be that it could help reveal their primary language, because whatever hurt them, the reason they're upset could be their appreciation language. So if they feel, if they're upset because no one told them they thank you for doing something for them, that could be because they're not feeling appreciated and their love language is words of affirmation. Lastly, this is something I encourage you all to just reflect on and think about, or even take this activity back to your organization members. But think about how you prefer to be motivated and appreciated in an organization. What actions can you take to support other speakers of languages? So those who have different languages, appreciation languages. And what are things to avoid with other speakers of different languages of appreciation? And so I'm going to just go ahead and close it off with some announcements. We do have a couple, 2 more collabs for this coming semester. So we have the How to Brag About Yourself and a collab on org transitions. And so I just want to remind you all, again, we have a collab coming up in March, in which we're going to talk about how to brag about yourself. So really that is going to be how do I take my leadership experiences and translate that to a resume, or how do I speak about my experiences? So that's in March. We also have SL office hours, which you can find on our titling page. So if you ever have questions and want to talk to someone in person, you can join those. There's also our Emerging Leaders program, which you can find more information about on TitleLink as well. And so that is all for today. Thank you for joining, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you.